Hello there. Can you hear me? Let me get a mic check real quick. I think that it's working. Yeah, looks like it's working. Okay, great. Awesome. Thanks for the mic check. I'll probably stay on for an hour or so. I didn't give too much notice about this live stream, but I'll stay on for an hour or so because I had the day off today and tomorrow is Saturday, so I don't have too much to do, which is nice. So people can come and go as they please. I don't think that I did one of these for the 6,000 subscriber deal, for the 6,000 subscriber mark, but I believe I did one for every thousand up until five, and then I think I just forgot to do the 6,000 deal one, but I'll just keep doing these. I think once I get to 10,000, I'll probably do it every 5,000 or so. But the 10,000 mark is probably pretty far away considering the growth of the channel, which has been pretty good. But with with a full-time job that can tax my time pretty heavily, sometimes it's hard to do all the things that I want to do in the day. Yeah, I think as you get older, you start to realize that you got a lot of things you want to do, but you just start running out of time because I think in it, like in any career that you're in, if you keep advancing, then whatever organization you're in expects more of your time. So you got to spend more time on the career and not necessarily on your hobbies. But for me, the career is good, but the hobbies is truly what keeps me going. The channel, the other hobbies that I have. Well, Mel, thank you very much. I appreciate it. If you have any, the way that these have worked in the past is if you have any questions about anything really, it doesn't have to be jump rope related. It can be about jump rope if you want, but if you have any questions about anything really, the only questions that I don't really take are any questions about specifics about my job, any questions about politics, and any questions about religion. But anything else, jump rope included, is fair game. And thank you very much. Today it's Veterans Day weekend, so it's nice to have the day off, take a break from commuting to commuting to my place of work. The commute here is a lot harder than it was in Michigan. In Michigan, the commute was 10 or 15 minutes, just a straight shot down the highway, and there was never any traffic. Here, the traffic is rough. The traffic is pretty rough, so that takes a little bit of my time. So not having the obligation to commute today and having the day off was really nice. I got to catch up on a lot of house stuff, my laundry, my other hobbies that I have, reading, all that. The question I see is, you think you'll ever make a video on how to learn the triple under? Hmm. That's a great question. I think that the prerequisite for me making that video is that I have to probably get better at the triple under myself. I'll be honest, I was able to do the triple under pretty well when I first started jumping. I think the first video that I ever did a triple under was the 101 jump rope moves that I filmed when I was and I published when I was living in the Richmond, Virginia area. I think that was in the summer of 19, so over 4 years ago. And I think that was the first time that I was able to get the triple under in, but I've never been able to do the triple under with a lot of consistency. It's been kind of tough. It's just something that I've never really worked on consistently, which I think I gotta start because I'm starting to get older and it's harder to do those kind of movements, becoming harder to do those kind of movements. One thing that I let hold me back when I lived in Michigan, and that's tough here as well, is that with the triple under, I feel like you need a lot of room. You need a lot of room in here. I live in a pretty congested neighborhood here. My garage is not well, my garage is not big enough to move around a whole lot, and I really don't have any time to go to the gym here. Even though the gym is 10 minutes down the road and I can use it for free because it's on a local military base here, I just don't have the time because of the commute that I have. And when I lived in Michigan, if you see all the videos that I did during the 3 years in Michigan, you can see that I was living in a pretty old house. I think the house was built in like 1928 or something like that. And the roof on the garage was not high enough for me to do triple unders. So there were times where I did triple unders outside. I think I did a few videos where I did the triple unders with the Elite SRS bullet comp, I believe it was. But this was a long story, but I got to get better at the triple unders before I got to be able to do them consistently before I can put a video out because I don't want to put a video out that teaches people to do something that I don't haven't mastered yet. In your opinion, which jump rope is the best freestyle jump rope? Yeah, that's a good one. It comes down to two. It comes down to two that are tied for the best, in my opinion, and they both have puts and takes. So there's trade offs for each. The two that I think are the best. The first is the Buddy Lee Rope Master, and the second is the Elite SRS. I think today it's called the Fit Plus. I think in the past it was called the Pro Freestyle. I don't really know. I can't really remember what it's called now. I can't keep up with how many times the name has changed. But those two are the best, in my opinion, after about, it's almost been 5 years of jumping rope. Those are the two best because the Rope Master is heavier, so it gives you a bit more feedback. But because the Roadmaster is heavier, the disadvantage is that it's hard to move it as quickly if you like to go fast. So the Elite SRS Fit Plus is lighter, but the disadvantage of having a lighter jump rope is that you don't get as much feedback. So I have both and I use both regularly if I'm looking to do I think for me, if I'm looking to do the double under crossover, I use the Buddy Lee Rope Master because that's a move that for me requires a good amount of feedback because it's such a difficult move to master. But if I want to go fast, then I'm going to be using the Elite SRS Pro Freestyle, I think is what it's called these days, or Fit Plus. I can't remember. But you'll see it if you watch a bunch of my videos. You'll see it. I got several reviews. I got reviews on both of those ropes on the channel that I did over the past few years. But yeah, that's a good question. I would narrow it down to those two. Yeah. You're welcome. That was a great question. The triple under question, that was a good one too. There aren't really any There aren't any bad questions. Well, I think the only bad questions would be, like I said in the beginning, any questions about politics or religion or any of those sensitive subjects. Those are questions to stay away from. But other than that, anything's fair game here. Let's see. It looks like there's 5 people on. Oh, I didn't start that. All right, there we go. Oh, excuse me. The fastest rope. That's a good one. The fastest rope, I think, is. Yeah, I think it's going to be a tie between. The fastest rope is going to be a tie between who cross rope, green rope, the 1 ounce rope, or the bolt, the cross rope bolt, 1 ounce rope, the green one, and the RX Smart Gear Evo Free. I think the RX Smart Gear Evo Free is probably the fastest one of those two, but those two are both fast. Yeah. Yeah, both great products from two quality companies. Yeah. Is there a hierarchy in the jump rope community? And then from Denmark. Oh wow, I've never been to Denmark before. I've always wanted to go. I've heard it's nice out there. Maybe one day I'll be able to make it out there. Let me see. I don't know. That's a good one. I don't know. I mean, it depends on. I guess it depends on who you ask. I think that the folks in the fitness jumper, I think you would probably the freestyler might be. I think there's a lot of different categories, but I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think there's a hierarchy. There might be a hierarchy within the different groups, but I think it's all about what people prefer. At the end of the day, I think it's jump rope is a good tool to stay in shape. It's a good tool to stay in shape. Whether you're somebody who has been jumping for a long time and you're in the competitive space and you're doing all the really difficult tricks from a young age, or whether you just use it for staying in shape, you do the basics, you're getting essentially the same result at the end of the day, and that's all the physical and cognitive benefits that come with the jump rope. So either way, I think the jump rope, all the tricks and all the fancy stuff and the competition, that stuff is awesome, but it all ends up leading to one output, to the main positive output, which is better health over the long term. There's a lot of research out now that is starting to suggest that building muscle is super important, not necessarily for now if you're my age, if you're in your 20s or your 30s or even in your 40s, but for when you get older, because when you start to get older, the amount of muscle that you lose muscle real fast and the amount of muscle that you have can directly affect your quality of life, because you see a lot of older people these days, they fall, and that's the leading cause. I think that's one of the leading causes of fatality for elderly people is falling and not being strong enough to carry on. So it all leads to all the different types of jumping, all leads to the same thing at the end of the day, which is building muscle and building cardiovascular strength, building your VO2 max, so that you're able to have a good quality of life when you start to get older. Yeah. Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Definitely agree with that one about the article or the study. There's a lot of, I would call them celebrity doctors out there, but not. I don't know about celebrity. It's probably not the right word because I think celebrity has a negative connotation, and these folks are doing nothing but positive. Folks like Peter Attia and Andrew Huberman, who all both of them are advocates for jump rope. I think they both mentioned jump rope in their studies. I know that Andrew Huberman does 10 or 15 minutes of jump rope every day. That's his exercise. Or he'll do a long 45 minute to an hour long walk. Walking is another great and undervalued exercise. People overlook walking all the time, but walking is one of the best things you can do. Specifically long walks of 5, 10, 15 miles. That's why still I'll do, even last week I did a 12-mile walk with a backpack, and I was sore afterwards, but I got like 30,000 steps in that day and burned almost 4,000 calories. So the walking is good. But yeah, there's a lot of folks. Those are the two most famous. I think those are the two most famous doctors out there, or academics, I should say, out there, Peter Attia and Andrew Huberman, who both swear by jump rope. So it's starting to get some good traction. I think jump rope has already gotten some pretty good traction from people who have a large audience, people who have a million, 2 million, 3 million person audience. But yeah, jump rope is also good because I think with jump rope, I think you see, if you see folks who are fairly not old, but who are getting up there in age, like 60, 70 years old, being able to, you can still, if you've been jumping rope for a long time, since you were in your 20s or 30s or even your teens, and you continue to do that throughout the years, I would offer that it's easier to continue to jump rope if you've been doing it for 30 years into old age, than it is to continue to running is something that I think most people end up losing the ability to do once they start to get older, because it's so difficult on your joints. It's so difficult on your joints, and that is probably, for me, that's probably what attracted me the most to jump rope. To be honest, is it was the long term effects, or the long term, the ability to use it in the long term. I knew that if I started when I was in my early 30s. So I started in my early 30s, that there would be a higher probability that I would be able to continue jumping rope into my 60s or 70s or 80s than I would be running. How long have I been jumping rope? I started in April 2018. Yeah, I prefer jumping over running as well. I still have to run. Actually, I mean, I enjoy running. Running is for me, it's a challenge. It's more challenging from a physical and mental standpoint than jumping rope is most of the time, because I'm always trying to get my times better, improve my times. But for me, running is also effective. It's the same as walking for me. It's a way to burn calories. It's a way to burn excuse me. It's a way to burn a lot of calories in a short amount of time. I can go on a 10-mile run and get around 20,000 steps and burn that day. I'll end up burning almost 4,000 calories if I do walking, if I'm active throughout the rest of the day after a 10-mile run. I mean, this just so that for me, that in an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes, I'm able to burn a ton of calories, right? So it's a good bang for the buck running is. That's why I like running. But from an actual overall standpoint of enjoyment, yeah, I would. If I didn't have to run, I would just do the jump rope every time. Yeah. Oh man. Nah, I've never been able to protect any jump ropes on the pavement without gotta either use a mat or you just have to be okay with the fact that it'll probably break sooner than you would like on pavement. I've never been able to find it. And then adding the electrical tape, I think that's not a bad idea, but then it might end up interfering with the performance of the rope, you know. Yeah, you're right about that. Jumping rope is does you can be a little bit more creative than you can be a bit more creative than you can with running. Running, you're right. It's not all that creative. The only way that I've ever found to make running more creative is to put on some music or something like that. But yeah, it is. You're that is a good that is a good point about the running. It is kind of boring. The only way to spice it up is to make it more difficult to find a trail with a lot of hills. And here in Virginia, there are a ton of hills here, so the running in this area is rough. I think there's going to be some kind of ad coming up. I think YouTube puts ads on these things, so I'll be right back in like 3 seconds, and I'll keep answering questions. Actually, no, I don't think that they did it. I think it does it when it does. I think it does it when they do the actual recording. Let's see. I'm gonna hit the questions in order. It looks like more people are coming in, which is great. The free, the freestyle, the Elite SRS freestyle. Yeah, I would suggest if you want to challenge, I would suggest the 4 millimeter rope. I don't think the color of the rope makes a difference. I use the white rope just because the white rope shows up better on camera. But yeah, it's either color is good. Okay. Ah oui, bonsoir, bonsoir, Hypermorph. J'espère que tout va bien. Merci, merci pour ton soutien. Oui, et je suis très connaissant que tu es ici, que tu es ici. Et merci pour ton soutien. Ouais, ouais. J'ai continué à pratiquer le français tous les jours, mais aujourd'hui et jusqu'à présent, chaque jour, j'ai une leçon avec les profs sur italki chaque jour et je pense que j'améliorerai mon français beaucoup avec les tuteurs et les tutrices de, de pays qui parlent français. Et oui, voilà. C'est très bon, c'est très bon pour moi. Oui, c'est très bénéfique pour moi. Oui. Et oui, oui, c'est ça pour moi. Et je pense que on, je pense que on est mai ou mai, je, je vais, ou je serai au courant en français, mais on verra, on verra. Ah oui, merci, merci, merci. Jumping rope has helped my endurance with rock climbing. The weighted rope builds resistance in the forearms and shoulder. Yeah, that's a good way to. I've never tried the rock climbing before. That sounds like a fun sport. But yeah, that's a good testament to. It's a good testament to how the jump rope it can be used and applied to other areas for sure. Et Hypermorph, je pense que je vais venir au Canada, ouais, au Canada pour pratiquer mon français à Québec ou à Montréal, ouais, ouais. Ça serait un test pour moi, pour mon français, ouais. Ou ça sera. Sometimes I get the ah oui. All right, Mel, thanks a lot. Appreciate it, man. Thank you for spending the lunch break. I hope that you have a good lunch. Hope you have a good lunch. Ah ouais, quand je viens à Montréal, je vais t'envoyer un message. Mais je pense que le français au Montréal, au Canada est très, très différent que le français en France ou en Suisse. Oui, très, très différent. L'accent est différent et les mots, les mots sont différents aussi. Ah oui, je comprends. Je comprends. Ouais, le français, utilisé et utilisé beaucoup, beaucoup dans tout le monde, tout le mondial. Oui, c'est très différent dans les autres pays. Par exemple, sur italki, je parle avec les jeunes qui viennent du Cameroun, qui viennent d'Algérie, qui viennent en France, mais j'ai besoin de trouver un tuteur ou une tutrice qui vient du Canada, ouais, 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 pour moi, j'ai besoin d'apprendre les autres accents. No, it's good. No, it's good. Learning French has been a good part of my hobbies, a good part of my hobbies in the past year. I started studying French on the 17th of December, 2022, and then I just stuck with it because I used to live in Belgium when I was a teenager and I never learned French, which I always regretted. I had the opportunity to attend a French school on base when I was a teenager and I was too scared to do it. So I was just thinking, whenever you think about your life after many years and you think about the opportunities that you missed, that was probably the biggest opportunity I missed because who knows how much different my life would have been had I learned French when I lived there for 2 years and I had learned French and known it for the past, I don't know, that was over 20 years ago. Yeah, so I made the commitment to start learning it this year, and I'm definitely not fluent yet, but I think that with continuing on with what I'm doing now, I can probably get to at least near fluency in the next 4 or 5 months or so. But what I was telling Hypermoth is that I go to italki and talk with, I pay for lessons and I talk with people from different French speaking countries. So from Cameroon, which is a country in Africa, from France, of course, and from Algeria and also Morocco. I have tutors in all those countries so that I can learn the different accents. But what I was telling Hypermob is that I don't have any tutors from Canada. Oh yeah, and I have a tutor from Haiti too, but I don't have a tutor from Canada. So I need to add a tutor from Canada so that I can learn that dialect of French as well, because the accent is different for each region. And French is such a widely spoken language. I mean, it's spoken in a lot of countries in Africa, Canada, Northern Africa, it's sub-Saharan Africa, and also France, of course, and Switzerland as well, and Belgium, of course. Yeah, I agree with you. Only d'accord. Only d'accord. Way. I agree with you on that one. Yeah, I do need it because there are some. I've already seen online watching YouTube videos that there are some different words and different expressions that are used in Canada that aren't used in French, and I mean in France and vice versa. Yeah. Plus, it's much easier for me to travel to Canada, to Quebec, than it is for me to travel to France or or anywhere in Europe or Africa. The drive is, or the I could drive there, but the flight would be much less expensive, more inexpensive, and also faster. I could spend more time there. Yeah, it's at the end of the day, it's kind of depressing. But everybody gets old. I mean, if you end up living for a while, you get old. You know what I mean? And so you gotta try to live the best life you can. And I think that what I'm finding is physical fitness helps with that because it helps you live the best life you can right now, and then it sets you up for the best life later. Because if you're living but you can't walk on your own, or you can't do stuff for yourself, you can't travel, you can't do the things you want to do, and your health is no good, then I don't know, are you really living, or are you just existing? It's just the quality of life isn't very good. And I think that's what exercises and the jump rope helps with so much, is that it helps you do the things you want to do right now, and then it sets you up to be able to at least do most of the things you want to do when you're older. I mean, if you're in your 80s, you're probably not going to be able to do the things you did when you're 20, but at least you're not going to be bound. You probably won't be bound to a wheelchair, or having not being able to live by yourself and all that stuff. So yeah, it's kind of like having a retirement account, but a physical retirement account where every time you exercise, you're putting deposits in that retirement account that you can use later on in life. Yeah, yeah, the soccer. That's a great sport, but yeah, it can definitely mess you up over time, just like any other sport can do. A lot of folks in here in America have a lot of ex-American football players have all sorts of problems after they get done playing football. So I'm glad that jump rope has help you stay active. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. I'll be here for another 20 minutes. So whatever questions you have, or anything you have, just yeah, hit me up with the questions. I'd be more than happy to answer them for you. Uh, hmm. Yeah, go for it. Ask whatever you want to ask, Mr. Raz. Go for it. This is why I'm here to answer your questions. Usually, not so many people attend these because everyone has, it's a busy life people have. So the main reason that I do these is just to thank people. I thank people by answering the questions. You get the shot to ask whatever you want. Yeah, it's good. Oh man. Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, it's tough to. Yeah, I know what you're asking. I know what you're asking. I think that people who have watched the channel for a long time, I'm not sure how long you've been watching the channel, but I made some videos about this a couple years back. And I think that yeah, I don't yeah. I'm trying to think of how to answer that question without yeah, so you did not see the videos that I did. Those were years ago. Hmm. All right, I'll put it like this. I'll put it like this. The companies that I would I'll do this. So I don't really want to answer the question like that because I don't want to put anybody or any companies out there. So what I will do is I'll tell you the companies that I would gravitate toward, and then the people that I don't mention, then you can make the conclusion that I personally would stay away from them. And then what you can also do is you can look through my older videos from like 2020, 2019, and you can see some videos that I did about a specific company that I would probably stay away from. But what I would encourage you to do is to not take my word as the gospel. To number one, if you like those ropes from the company that I mentioned in my videos years ago, if you like those ropes, then use them. Use them. Don't just take whatever I say for it, because the worst thing you can do is not think critically. The reason that I do this channel and the reason that people do these channels is to put out information so that people can make informed decisions. But if you see my videos and you hear what I have to say and you still go with that rope from that company that I recommend not buying from, then that is completely fine, and that is your prerogative. I think the worst part though is when folks like yourself who are brand new come into the jump rope game and they buy from the person who is most flashy or who has the nicest hair or who wears the sunglasses all the time, and then they end up getting a product that they think is one thing, but then it breaks like 3 weeks later. So that's what I try to help people to avoid. So with that said, I think people can probably figure out who I was talking about if you've been in the jump rope community as for any length of time. But the companies that I would go toward Buddy Lee. He has good ropes. His ropes, the ropes that I have, people have said that they've broken before, but the Buddy Lee ropes that I have, none of them have ever broken, and I use them quite often. So Buddy Lee is a good one. Punk Rope is a good company. They have very cheap ropes. I don't think that they ship internationally, but they ship across the United States. Their ropes are cheap, but they last for a while, and then they're only like $10. So if one of them breaks, you can just buy another one. It's not really any money out of your pocket. Also, Crossrope. Crossrope is a good company. I think that they ship internationally. They're expensive. They're expensive. They make no bones about that. But I still have the Crossrope attachments that I bought in 2018, and they're still the same. They're still the same ones. They haven't broken. They have a lot of new innovative products, and they're just a good company. Dave Hunt, the CEO, he used to be in the Navy. He's just a good dude. I talk to him every month or so. Just a good guy. Rhythm rope is made by a guy who lives in the western part of the United States. And that's my favorite rope, still my favorite rope for the past 2 or 3 years. I use it every time I jump rope. I use my rhythm rope. It's made by a guy. He's got his own setup in his, I think it's his living room or his basement, something like that. Out in the western part of the United States in the mountains, he makes his own jump rope. He makes the rhythm rope. That's probably the best jump rope on the market. I think that's the best jump rope on the market. And I believe that he does ship internationally, but that it's going to cost if he's shipping from the United States and he's shipping to Europe or any other continent aside from America. Let's see. RX Smart Gear. RX Smart Gear is a good one. Yeah. RX Smart Gear is a good company. What else? Elite SRS. They're a good company. I think they get their ropes from India, or I can't remember where they get their ropes from, but they're reasonably priced and they don't break very easily. Let's see. Those are the ones that I would go toward. Another thing that you can do is you can go through all my videos and you can see the ropes that I've rated pretty high over the past few years, and then you you can understand the ropes that I tend to use and why. Yeah, but I don't really want to go out there and tell you who I think is overhyped and all that. It's like I said, it's in my videos. It's something that I did some videos on a few years back. There was some conflict. There was some conflict between me and the company and all that, and it's died down now. So I don't really want to open it back up again because it's been a couple years, and I'd rather just let it lie where it is. Let's see. Yeah. I still use the Buddy Lee ropes, and I think I just went through. That's a good question. I didn't see that question come in while I was doing a long answer to that jump rope. Yeah. That's a good one. And all the ones that I mentioned, rhythm ropes probably the top. Elite SRS, Buddy Lee, Cross Rope, RX Smart Gear. Those are going to be the ones that I go to 90, 80, 90% of the time. I'm hoping I'm not forgetting anyone. Punk rope, yeah, punk rope's a good one if you want a cheaper jump rope. Some people can't really justify spending a whole lot of money on a jump rope, and that's cool. But what I found about jump ropes is it's kind of like anything else, is that the more you pay, typically the better you get, the better quality you get. Tina, thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining, and thank you for your support. I appreciate it. Yeah. Tina has been on the channel for a long time. That's what I like about having the channel is there's some people who just got to the channel. There's some people who just found the channel. There's some people who have been around for a long time. It's always fun to connect with people. Even though I don't think that I might have met a couple people that watch the channel. I think when I lived in Michigan, I met up with this one guy who goes to college out there who was passing through where I lived in Michigan, and he and I had a coffee. It was cool to actually meet somebody who watches the channel. Yeah, it was fun too. Definitely fun. Definitely good. Definitely glad. I'm definitely glad that I started the channel. I'm not really sure what I would have done with my time if I hadn't. I'll be here for another 9 minutes and then I'm gonna sign off. But feel free to ask some questions if you have them. Oh man, whew. It's been a good day of relax. Yeah, I am. On November 25th, it'll be a year for me. I've been drinking these for a long time. Hop water. They're good. I found out that I like the taste of the hops. That's what I missed the most. It wasn't the alcohol. Yeah, my life is a whole lot better without alcohol. I can tell you that right now. I wish I had stopped a long time ago, but I'm glad that I stopped. You don't really realize how bad alcohol is, at least for me. I didn't realize how bad alcohol was until I stopped. I remember the first month of it, it felt like fog had just fog had just left my brain completely. I mean, I was able to think a whole lot better. And now, though the benefits, you get used to thinking clearly after a while, and then you don't really remember what it was like to be drinking, be drinking. But I'm glad that I don't do it anymore. I've saved thousands of dollars. Feel a lot better. Yeah, it's been good. 15 days. I don't think I'll ever go back to it. I mean, I don't think I'll have a reason to. Let's see. Are you still using the Crossroad Vamp handles? Yeah, I'm still using them. I use them once or twice a week. They're good. I think they're a really cool innovation in the jump rope space. Yeah. I'm not on the leaderboard. I don't think I use them that much. I've seen some people who get up who get up on the leaderboard who they have they have something ridiculous like 300,000 jumps. I think what they do is they just sit there and they turn the handle over and over again to try to to try to be at the top of the leaderboard. It's really strange. I don't know how anybody could do that many jumps in a day. I think the world record in 24 hours is it's in the hundreds of thousands. So that person would have to be jumping for 24 hours straight, I think, to do that. So yeah, it's really funny. But it's a good system. AMP is a good system, but you're always gonna have people out there who try to abuse it for whatever reason. Yeah, it's really funny. Yeah, the IPA is a good one for sure. These hop waters, they do taste just like an IPA. Obviously, they don't taste the same. The alcohol it just isn't there, but it has the same hop like taste, and it's been good. A lot of these imitation products are not great. A lot of the no sugar desserts and all that stuff are not great. I tried these. I went out on a limb and tried these sugarless cheesecakes, and they're just not very good. I think that I mean, I like what they're trying to do, what the company's trying to do, but it just wasn't for me. I'd rather just go out and eat a real cheesecake once every couple of weeks, but then to have the no sugar version. I'd rather just have the real thing because it just didn't taste very good to me. And a lot of those imitation products aren't very good, but this imitation product is actually pretty good. It's solid. It's solid. They're expensive, but I keep buying them just because I like the taste. And it's got a lot of other stuff in it. It's got some nootropics in there. It's got ashwagandha is I think how you pronounce it. Ashwagandha. Yeah, ashwagandha and L-theanine in there. So it actually does kind of make you feel more relaxed like alcohol does, but it does it. The nootropics make you feel more relaxed and more at ease, but there's no alcohol in it, which is obviously the best part, or the worst part if you're really missing the alcohol. But for me, yeah, it's been worth not being on it anymore. Yeah, I got into jump rope because I just wanted another way to. I always liked the boxing culture, even though I was never a boxer myself, and I always saw the boxers jumping rope. So yeah, I tried it. It was good, and then I just stuck with it and just kept going with it. Once I saw some videos of Buddy Lee, I got inspired to do that kind of jump rope, and then just went with it from there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Hypermorph, c'était très bon te pour te revoir, ouais. Merci pour son soutien, ton soutien, excuse-moi, ton soutien. Ah oui, c'est ton violon, ça. Oui, 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 oui. Et je vais rester en contact avec toi et je vais t'envoyer un message si je viens à Québec. Oui, à bientôt, à très vite. All right, there's a few more minutes for some more questions. There's some more people on here, which is cool. Toward the end, I guess everybody starts to come through, which is fine. I might be able to stay on for a little while longer. Uh, the beaded ropes are, I mean, the beaded ropes are not my favorite for, I don't really know why. I just never really got into them for some reason. I tried Coach Chris's. That's probably the best one that I tried. And that one was good, but it's just, for me, I don't know. I never really got into the beaded ropes, but some people really like them. Some people really do a good job with it, and they like the beaded ropes. And I think that's what matters. If you like the beaded ropes, then keep doing it. The best jump rope is the one that you use consistently, not the one that someone on YouTube tells you to use or not to use. If you like it, stick with it. If you don't like it, then try something else. Uh, all right. All right. I don't see any other questions coming in, so I think I answered them all. I'm gonna sign off now. Thanks a lot for all the support, and then hopefully it doesn't take too long to get to the 8,000 for the next one. But whenever the channel gets to 8,000, then we'll do another one of these. Thanks for all the questions. I appreciate it. Take care, everybody. Take care. Bye bye.